Alright guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to learn how to build our profile page where we can change some details about our user. So let's get started with this. The first thing I'm going to do in here is just create a new file called maybe profile.php, and inside of this I'm probably just gonna go and go in here on my register. I think I'm just gonna copy everything in here and we will see what we can change. Okay, so I'm just gonna select everything from my register and I'm gonna paste it inside of my profile. Okay, now let me just see, what do I want to do? I want to make sure that this part in here is what I want, so I'm gonna have in here a container, a card. I already have in here something that is gonna say update your details. Then I'm gonna have in here a form that's gonna go to profile.php with a method of post. Now, one thing that I want to mention in here is whenever you guys are going to be using like a real server that you are going to put your application, you should use some different methods like put or patch that will actually update things on your database. At the moment, because we are just running this on the local server with XAMPP has some kind of problems using this kind of HTTP methods like put and patch. So for now, we are just going to use this post. But like I said, guys, if you want to use on a real server, you should use a method of either put or patch. So I'm just going to give you a quick description. The put basically is going to create something new if you don't have it, or update it if already exists. The patch is just going to update a small part of your database. So you guys can have a look into Google what's the difference between put and patch, but you can basically use any of them for this situation. Right, so let's carry on with the post. Like I said, we're going to use the post because XAMPP has some problems with the put and the patch. So this should be fine for us to use. Now in here, I'm going to use this username and then I need my user email. Okay, so I'm going to have my user email. The password I don't want at the moment. This would be for another project. For now, we just want to update our username and our user email. And now I'm going to put in here the button name is going to be edit. And in here we should say, let me see, update the details. So update details. Okay, let me just see if this is working. I'm still logged in from the last video, if you guys remember, as Telmo moderator, which was the last user that we actually just built. So if I go in here on the top and I go to profile, now I can see my profile. But what I actually want to do in here is I want to go in here and just like put some names. I want in here, when I go in here, to see my actual username and my user emails so I can actually update it. So let's go back in here. So now let's go to the top and just modify this a bit. So what I want to do now is make sure that we have on the top, if you guys remember from our login, I need to make sure that I have my session start, okay, in the beginning. So where is it? I'm going to put my session start on the top. Okay. Now I'm going to put this session on the top, and then I'm also going to do another check in here is if, okay, I'm going to do is set. And what do I want to check if we set my $_session with the name of user ID. So basically in here, we are just checking if the user is already logged in or not. Okay. So if it is, I want to require my connection to the database. And then I'm going to create a new variable called user ID. Okay, don't forget to put the $, because in PHP we need to put the $_ before our variables. User ID is going to be equals to $_session, just like we did on the last video, if you guys remember, user ID. Okay, so I think I forgot to put something in here, some single quotes. Okay, now I know that this variable that I'm just creating at the moment is going to be equals to maybe 2, 3, 4, 10, whatever is our user ID. Now, another thing that I can do in here is to check, for example, what can I do in here? At the moment, I don't want to do nothing of these. I just want to know if the user is logged in, okay? I'm going to create a new variable called stmt, short for statement. And I want to do a PDO, okay? If you guys remember PDO, I always say these all videos coming from our connection from the database that we did before. And I'm going to do in here what? I'm going to do a prepare statement. And my SQL statement that I want to put in here is going to be select all columns. That's why I have the star in here. From my table users, where the ID is going to be equals to question mark. We're using some positional parameters in here. Now after this, I'm going to do a stmt and I'm going to do a execute. Okay, so I'm going to execute what? I'm going to pass in here, instead of this question mark, if you guys remember, I'm going to pass this user ID that we just grabbed from before. Okay, now that I have this, I'm going to create a new variable called user, okay, equals to stmt, and now I'm going to put stmt and I'm going to put this fetch. Okay, now I have access, if the user is logged in, as you guys remember that we were doing before, if the user is logged in, I actually now have access to all the values of this user. So now in here on my form, on my inputs for the name and for the email, I'm going to do in here something. First for the name, okay, I have an input in here. I'm going to put that by default, the value is going to be equals to, and I'm going to put PHP. Okay, when you start a new PHP tag, guys, don't forget to close it straight away so you don't forget. Now I'm just going to do echo, and I'm going to do user, and then I want to go in here and put the name. If you guys don't remember, username is on our database. Let me just go back in here. I'm going to go in here. Look, this is the column name. That's why I have access to it. Let's just see if this is working. I'm going to refresh my page and look. Now it's coming the name of my current user that is logged in on this website. So we got Telmo moderator. Let's go to my database. I'm just going to do a bit of zoom so you guys can see. Telmo moderator is my last user that I just created, and this is the name. Now I'm going to do the same thing in here on the input for the email. So input require type email name, and I'm just going to copy these actually. I'm going to copy this value and I'm going to put on this input from my email. This time, instead of putting name, I'm going to put email. Okay. Email is the name of this column in here on the database. Okay. I'm going to save this. And now I'm going to refresh my page and look, I got Telmo moderator and I got Telmo moderator the name, Telmo moderator the email. Why do I create this user? Because if you guys remember, I want to create after a blog just for moderators to be able to post on the blog. But this video right now is just about updating the details about any user. So now that we have this, when we actually do some changes in here and we submit this form, look, with the name of edit, okay, what I'm going to do in here on the top is I'm going to go in here to the top. I'm going to do in here, first of all, I'm going to check before all of this. Okay, I'm going to do an if statement saying something like if, and then I'm going to do $post. I'm not going to do register, of course. I'm going to do edit, because if you guys remember, look, down here on this button, I gave it a name of edit. And I know that this form is going to submit to this file and via the method of post. So I'm going to do in here on the top, look. So after we check if the user is logged in and everything, now I'm going to put in here user statement fetch. Where is it? In here. I'm a bit lost. $post underscore edit. Okay, so we got this. If we did this, I want to grab the name. So variable is going to be equals to name. Okay, and now obviously, just like we did from before, guys, from the register, if you remember, I actually have everything down here. We need to make sure that we do all these sanitizing things. Okay, actually, I'm gonna grab everything from here. Okay, I'm still on my profile. Remember, guys, that in the beginning we just did a copy of everything. I'm just gonna leave everything in here. So let me just delete. I'm just gonna copy all of this. I'm gonna put it up here. Okay, so I'm gonna delete all of these in a second. So I'm just gonna leave this part in here on the top. You guys can always, let me just increase this a bit. You guys can always just like pause the video and copy all of these. So got the username, which I'm gonna do a filter var. So post username. Let me see what we have down here. We got the name username. Okay, for this input. So that's what we are doing in here. We are sanitizing the string, and then we're going to do the same thing again for the email. So we are sanitizing everything. Now, after this, what I want to do is I'm going to put in here another statement. STMT equals, like you remember, guys, we can do this and then after use the same name of the variable, because down here, when we start to do this again, we are basically just like overwriting, because this part, when it gets done, that's it. We don't need this variable anymore. And after it's just getting overwritten. So it's all good. But if you want, you can create different variables like STMT2, 2, and so on, or give it other names. So statement is going to be equals to PDO. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is prepare a SQL statement. And what I want to do in here is update. So this is how you actually update something in your database via MySQL. So update the table users. Okay. So I want to set the name. This is the column. You remember the column name? Name equals to, I'm just going to put this in here short. Name equals to question mark. Email equals to question mark. Okay. Where, okay, as like this, let me just check, where my ID of the user is going to be equals to something. Okay, so this is my statement. If I'm posting in here to this page, okay, we are grabbing the username and the user email from the form, which is this that we have in here. Then I'm creating a new statement, which is PDO prepare update the table users. I'm going to set the name to question mark, email to question mark, where the ID of the user is equal to question mark. Okay. Now we need to execute this. So we're going to do STMT, and I'm going to do in here just as usual execute. So I'm going to put execute. Okay, parentheses. Now we need to have an array, like you guys remember. An array is going to be with all the values for the name, for the email, and for the ID. So the first value needs to be the name. Like I mentioned before, guys, need to be the same order. If I start in here with name, if I start in here after with email and then ID, the things in here need to be on the same order. So first is going to be my username. Okay, I'm going to put in here. Second is going to be my user email that I'm grabbing from the form. And finally is going to be the current logged in user ID, which is up here on the top that we just grabbed. Okay. And I think that's it. So let me just delete all of this stuff from the code from before. I think until here. Okay. Let me just delete. Okay. So your PHP part on the top, let me just increase the window so you guys can see. If you need to pause the video to copy something that you did forget or something, this is how my PHP on the top looks like. And if I scroll down, This part in here is all the same like on the register. We just took some things out. But yeah, okay, let's see if all of this is fine. So I'm gonna go in here, tell moderator. Let me just refresh the page. Everything is coming up. So line 9, wait a second, we have something in here. If post, I think we are missing something. Let me see my register. Where is it? If is set. Okay, we need to check that. So on my profile, you need to do if is set. Okay. This is what we were missing in here. If is set post edit, we're gonna run this. So let me just refresh the page again. No errors this time. We got Telmo moderator. Now I'm gonna just remove in here the name from Telmo moderator for Telmo mod. And I'm gonna do the same thing in here for the email. I'm gonna put Telmo mod at, instead of email, I'm gonna put Gmail. Okay, let's update this and see what happens. I clicked, nothing happened, but now if I refresh the page, oops, let me just click on the URL on the top. So as you guys can see, everything is still the same. Look, if I click on the URL and I refresh the page, if I go to my home and then I go to profile, this is still updated. Let's check now our database. If I refresh the page of the database, look, on my database now, I have Telmo mod at gmail.com, and basically that's it. Okay, so we just learned how to basically update the details of a user. Let's just log out. I think I have another user, Tom at email.com. So let's try to update the username in here of Tom. So I'm going to do logout first of all. Okay, logout. Now, what I want to do is log in. So I'm going to do Tom, I think it was it, Tom at email.com. I'm going to put the password. All my passwords at the moment is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys can put whatever you want. Log in. Look, welcome Tom. This is a super secret content only for logged in people. Let's go to the profile. Look, username Tom, username Tom at email.com. I'm going to put his name now to be Tommy, and I'm going to put his email to be tommy at email.com. Let's update the details. That's it. It's all done. Now let's go to the database. Let's refresh and look. Now I have Tommy at email.com. If I go to the home page, go back to the profile, all is fine. All right, guys. So that's it for this video. We just learned how to update the details of our user or any other content that you would like. And in the next video, we are actually going to start with the blog. So hopefully you guys like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.